far as how I got to this point now in my life, I guess I'll start off with growing up. My dad, Manny, worked for FedEx. We kind of moved around the Southeast. I was born here in LaGrange, lived in Hogansville. When I was a kid, we moved to Mobile, Alabama. We lived there for a few years. Then I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee. I actually graduated high school from there. We moved around a lot, so I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was 18 years old, just graduated high school. The only thing I knew was I didn't want to go to college and do like the regular thing. I wanted to just get out and do something interesting, something fun and challenging. So I just woke up one morning and told my parents I was going to go join the Marines. So we went up to the recruiter's office. I signed the papers that day. It happened really fast. There was no long thought process. I just woke up and went and did it. I joined the Marines for 4 years. I did some training in Parris Island, South Carolina, and some in North Carolina, then with Virginia, and then I ended up basically for the last 3 years in Southern California at Camp Pendleton. I had a blast. It was definitely one of the hardest things I've ever done. It was very challenging. I wanted a challenge, but when I was actually in the middle of doing all that, I realized it might be too much of a challenge. But it was a huge part of my life. I met my wife in Southern California, Alexis, and we have a 9-month-old son. So everything worked out according to God's plan. So I got out of the Marine Corps in 2015. It's kind of back to when I graduated high school. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I actually had done a lot of online college classes while I was in the Marines. So I already had my freshman year done. So my plan was just to go ahead and go to college. So when I got out, I started going to the University of West Georgia. I've been talking to Joey for like the last year I was in the Marines. I was talking to Joey, keeping up with the pizza business. It was always really interesting to me. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. My grandfather, Pop, Jim Carvelis, he always had Pizza Stop when I was growing up. I loved going up there and watching him and Linda, my grandmother, work up there and do pizzas and cheese sticks, and it was so good. I wasn't allowed to do anything or touch anything up there. Started working with Joey at the shack. Man, I thought the Marine Corps was challenging. Working at that shack, with how busy it was so hot. There was one bathroom everybody had to share. This was like a different level of working hard. It was a lot of fun. I just remember me and Joey sitting up there a lot of nights talking about what we felt like this business could be. We had this bond with the customers, had a lot of people who come up there every week, same day, they order their same thing. From the time I got there in December of 2015, to actually when I was about to leave, which was the following year, it was like December of 2016, the place had like doubled in like the customer volume. It was insane. It was like, man, this is really cool. I actually decided I wanted to take a little break, focus 100% of my time on college, and then kind of figure out what I want to do from there. And at the time, my dad was living in Memphis, Tennessee. I moved up there with him and enrolled into University of Memphis. My plan was to finish out, get my bachelor's there. Joey and my dad had been talking this whole time. The pizza place was still just going crazy, and Joey had bought a building in Hogansville. My dad was on board, like, we're going to blow this thing up. I was like, all right, let's do it. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was a risk. It was definitely really scary. Before we moved here, it's just one little small pizzeria. I already knew how much hard work it was going to take because I had already done it for a year. Once we opened the new location in Hogansville on Commerce Street, things really took off. We had the shack mentality. We got here. Manny was serving, me and Joe were making pizzas, we're working 7 days a week. So that was when we started realizing we're kind of at a different level now. The grand opening was unreal. We were not ready for it. Looking back on it, it was fun. It was great that we went through that. Some of you customers that were up here that night probably remember how chaotic it was. There was just people everywhere. There's a lot more to come. We're still telling our story. It's not complete yet. This is just the first chapter, but we're going to keep this thing going, so stay tuned.